Mother baby.
Okay, so it's external and we want it to be internal. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure we don't lose that because that was such a great point.
Yeah.
All right.
Every emotion that you feel, it's all from outside. Yes.
So this is this is the last lines of this shabda that Rajmanji introduced. So we just condensed it a little bit so we can fit it in this class. So there are a few more lines. So this is from 633. If you want to look up the whole shabda there. Everyone knows what ang means? What does ang mean? Page. Why the word ang? What does it mean literally? Anybody know? Anybody?
What does that literally mean?
It means limb.
Parts.
Limb. It literally means limb, like an arm or a leg. So Guru Angad Dev Ji, does anybody know how he got his name? Where did he get his name from? Maybe you learned this week hopefully. So our Guru Angad Dev Ji, go ahead.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah, you're on the right path.
I think you said that you're a part of me.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
You're part of my body.
Yeah, Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Panjana, that was his name for his whole life until he became the Guru. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji passed on the Guruship to Guru Angad Dev Ji, he named him as Guru Angad Dev Ji. He said, "You're like my own limb, part of my own body." So this shows how the Gurus, they're all one body, one light in all the 10 Gurus, all the 10 Gurus. So that he said, "You're like a part of me, and you're going to carry on this 6 years." So this is the last 2 lines of the Shastra. So in this, as Bhagavati was saying earlier, he gives us the method. So we want to attain a state of balance, but how do we do it? Actually, how do 6 do it? What is the method that the Gurus have given us? So he says, Guru Kirpa, Jai Nar, Kokini, that is Jogat Pachani, the first line. So, Guru Kirpa, does anybody know what this phrase means? Have you heard it before? Good morning. Everybody knows what is good? Guru. It means Guru, just a short form of that. What does Kirpa mean? Everybody?
Like mercy? Like mercy?
Person?
Mercy.
Mercy, exactly, yes. Mercy. Other synonyms, you can say compassion, grace. When we have this phrase, Guru Kirpa, it means the grace of the Guru, or the compassion of the Guru, or the Guru's mercy. They're all synonyms. And everybody knows from Guru Mantra, what's the last line of Guru Mantra? So, Ekokar, recite with me. Satnam, Karta Purak, Nirko, Nirvair, Kalur, Ajuni, Sabam, Guru Prasad. So that's the synonym basically for this. Guru Kirpa, Guru Prasad, it means the grace of the Guru. With the grace of the Guru, we attain. What do we attain? Jogat Pachani. Anyone knows what Jogat means? Jogat? It means a method or a way. In this case. And Patana, what does that mean? In regular Punjabi? To, exactly. So that person who has received the grace of the Guru, he recognizes what is Jogat? He recognizes the way or the path. That person receives the Guru's grace, he recognizes this path. And the final line of the Shabda is Nanak, Leen, Peo, Govind, Syo Jio Pani, Sam. So Nanak, this is written by Guru Tegh Bahadur. Why does it say Nanak here? Anybody have an idea?
Like, is it the end towards the...
Speak loud.
Is it like usually like towards the end, if what, like,
Not.
yeah.
Wait, please.
Yeah, but why does Guru Tegh, this is Guru Tegh Bahadur Shabda, so why does he say, why is he written Nanak? Exactly. Can you expand on that a little bit?
All the Gurus have one like,
Yeah. So they're all named Nanak. They're all they take the name Nanak. Whenever we see Nanak in all the Shabdas of Guru Granth Sahib, it's like saying, "Oh Nanak." It's the Gurus are talking to their own mind. It's just conveniently called Nanak as a method of convenience. But they're speaking to their own mind. So all of Gurbani is a way of talking to the mind and getting it into this state of Guru Tegh Bahadur, by connecting with the mind,
And giving us the direction.
giving us the direction.
So, O Nanak, lean pe aur Gobind.
So Gobind, we recognize the name of Guru Gobind Sahib Ji, right? What does Gobind mean in other parts of Gurbani? Anybody have any idea? Gobind? It means just a name for God. So we have many, many different names for God in Gurbani. This is one of them.
So Nanak, lean pe aur Gobind. O Nanak, that person who merges with Gobind. Lean Kona, it means to merge. That person who merges with Gobind, with God. Sio Jo, Pani,
Sun, Pani. It's a very beautiful line from Gurbani. So Pani, everybody knows. What does it mean?
Water.
Of course, water. Sun, anybody knows what sun means? It's from the word Sangat. What does Sangat mean?
Sangat,
Company.
yeah,
Company, togetherness. So Pani, Sun, Pani, in this case, it means just like Leen Peo Gobind, the person who merges with God. It's like Pani merging with water. Pani merging with Pani. Pani, Sun, Pani. So what happens when a river, where does the river, all the rivers end up eventually? Where do they end up? The ocean. So the rivers, all the water from the mountains, from the rain, from the hills, goes from miles and miles and miles, and it ends up merging with the ocean. So that's the image he's giving. Pani, Sun, Pani. So how many of you guys have been to the beach? I'll wake you guys up. How many have not been to the beach? So what happens when you stand on the beach? When you're standing on the sand? What do you do?
It's hot.
It's hot? It's hot. Sometimes, hopefully. What happens when you're standing on the beach? What goes on? What makes it fun?
The waves
Waves. So what happens when one wave comes?
take the sand for one thing.
And then what happens?
You get solid water in your mouth.
Well, if you open your if you're dunked in the water, but if you're just standing on the beach, it comes on your feet. What happens to the wave?
It goes back.
And then what happens after that? And then what happens? And then what happens after that?
The process repeats.
Does the waves ever stop in our lifetime? If you go to Ocean City, Virginia Beach, or wherever, Rehoboth, all day and night, do they ever stop? So this is, this is the beauty of this image, spawning sunlight, right? So it's, the waves are like what we were talking about earlier, duk, suk, good and bad, night and day.
praise, condemnation.
Usta, nindya, we had in the earlier. Praise, condemnation. These are all the play of opposites, right? They're just play. And Guruji says the waves of those are like the waves. They go up, they crash down on the sand. Another one comes, goes up, comes down. Another one comes, goes up, and comes down. That's like our emotional state on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes even an hour-to-hour basis. In 1 hour, we may go up and down 10 times. Feel happy, we feel sad. Feel happy, we feel sad. What happens when you fly over the ocean? If you've taken a flight on an airplane, what does the ocean look like?
What does the ocean look like? From up far distance.
Can you see all the little waves?
No,
No. What does it look like?
flat,
Flat. What else?
still,
Still, calm,
yeah.
placid. So Guruji is asking us to identify with the great ocean, not the individual waves. They keep coming and coming all day long. Your emotions can, and anything, you look on social media, look on the news, look on Instagram, your friend had posted this, someone posted that. Your emotions can be played with, and they are played with these days, through news, through social media, through our phones, all day long, even 24 hours a day. Our emotions are getting manipulated, going up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So Guruji is saying those are you don't get caught up in the wave that just, it's because it's going to go up and go down, and there's going to be another one up and down, up and down. That's not how you want to be. You want to identify with the deep, calm, placid, still ocean,
The center.
the center. So, you know, this is a. Anyone recognize this? It's a simple machine. It's a seesaw. So what happens when one person sits on this side and one person sits on that side and this person jumps? What happens? And what happens when this person jumps? The other person, the other side goes down, right? It goes up and down. That's what makes it fun, right? It's going up, going down, going up, going down. Anyone know what this piece is called in the middle of a seesaw or a lever? Did you take physics yet? Anybody? What age group are you in?
Yeah, not taking physics?
Oldest.
Actually,
Oh, what's this called? This is a simple machine. I mean, it's usually called a fulcrum. That's the technical name for it. So what does this do in a system? What's the role of the fulcrum? It supports what happens if you take the board and put it on the ground? Can you see something that way anymore? So this is the support system that gives support to this plane. So this is a metaphor, right? This is the same thing we were saying earlier, like the wave. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. The Sikh Gurus, they wanted their Sikhs, the Sikh Sangha, that's who we are, the Sikh community, to identify to be this person, this being who stands in the center and observes everything. You know, observes the up and down, but doesn't get caught up in up and down and over. The Sikhs are the people who keep their center. And how do they find their center? We talked about it earlier. How do we attain Guru's Kirpa? But how do we attain Guru's Kirpa? This is the most important part of this lesson.
How do we become fulcrum? The situation that we have.
How do we get that center? Become the center? How do we do it as a practical? You can take a guess.
Recognize your path.
Recognizing your
path.
Your path, yes.
Yes.
And what are some practices that Guru has given us to do that? To recognize ourselves, recognize our center, find our path. Meditate?
Yes.
What's another word for meditate from the Sikh tradition? Gurbani. What do we do with Gurbani? Kirtan, Par, what else? Simran, Naam Simran, what else? What does Jap mean? From Jap Jisai. What does Jap mean? The first word of Guru Granth Sahib is Jap. What does it mean?
Is there a recital law?
Yeah, Jap means it's a command, recite. Japana means to recite. So Jap, Guruji is telling. The first thing he says is recite. And the first composition is after Moon Mantra is Jap Jisai. So this is the methodology that Guruji has given us to attain this state of Guru Kirpa. Sometimes we have this word that appears in Gurmat also, Sahaj. So what does Sahaj mean? Sahaj. Anyone? We had a Sahaj in the last class. Her name was Sahaj. So she knew it. What does Sahaj mean? It means a state of equipoise, that's a more fancy word, or a state of balance. So this whole shaman and this whole lesson for today is to essentially attain this state of Sahaj, to be this breath. Yeah, there's so many metaphors, right? I give you the metaphor of the ocean, goes up and down, but we don't identify with up and down, we identify with the great, deep, the depth. This, we identify with this, the fulcrum that stays centered. This is a sine wave from physics, or you guys will have this in a couple of years when you take calculus or maybe before. So this is the center line. The sine wave goes up, goes down, goes up. This is how they represent sound waves. So this is the Guru's lesson for his Sikhs, that this is what he wants the Sikhs to be in the society, in the community. The Sikhs are those people who keep their center and don't get caught up in the play. It doesn't mean when you're on the beach, the waves of the ocean, they're also part of the ocean. It doesn't mean you don't enjoy. You enjoy happiness when it comes. You enjoy, you experience sadness when it comes. You just experience it, but you don't get overly overwhelmed by it. You don't get overwhelmed by it. You don't get caught up in it. You keep your own center. That's basically what this show is.
And now I'll pass the.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can we quickly make a circle, put the chairs in a circle really quick?